Quick reminder, in this tutorial, we'll be using a very sharp X-acto knife and a hot glue gun, so please handle with care. The PDF companion downloads aren't available yet. They'll be added later in the series for a tiny contribution. But for now, enjoy this free tutorial and follow along step by step. Quad cover, let's make it. It's going to look like this. You should have this in your PDF downloads. It's probably going to be called quad cover. Just an update moving forward, your quad cover is actually going to be looking like this. It's going to be slightly different, especially on the top right here. I already cut out a couple pieces for another action figure, but just note that this top is going to be different. Your quad cover is going to be the same exactly like this. In the video moving forward, it's going to look a little different. The quad cover in the video is pretty much the same except for the top part here. And it's going to attach the same as well. Take our rock star of the hour. Grocery bag paper stock, everybody. Go ahead and, just for the record, cut this down to size. 3.5 by 3 inch piece of grocery bag paper stock, and look, we have no graphics on either side, so either side doesn't matter. Go ahead and fold this in half, right? Fold it in half, and of course, as you can see, know the infamous CF centerfold. Not like Playboy, you know, in the 1980s where you can actually be a centerfold. Anyway, it's a family show. I'm going to put the centerfold arrow on the actual centerfold line. Just like this, rock stars, just like this. This time we're going to bring our number 2 pencil in, or number 2. Who does number 2 work for? No rhyme or reason, we're going to trace Elliot this out. We're going to get all detective on this and Dick Tracy this out. Go ahead and cut this out. Kill a bird with 3 stones. 2 for the price of 1. We did a fold trace, now a fold cut. And the reason why we call that is because we have a middle line and everything should mirror left to right. Alright, isn't that brilliant? Kind of a fun way to design things. Of course, this is going to be a 1 cut right there. 1C, 1C, and that's a fold actually. So we're not gonna cut that. We are gonna cut this though. Boom. Because this is actually gonna be just kind of a fold assist. Like that, we're gonna actually fold it in like that. And we did 2 for the price of 1 on folds. Check that out. Alrighty, so same difference everybody. These little markers, we're lining it up like this. And we've got this same exact fold, except it looks a little different at the top. So you should have the same thing and just kind of mirror the same side. Should look something like that. Okay? So we're just going to go opposite on this one here. We're going to close this off, and these folds are probably not going to make too much of a difference later, but the reason why we did that was to add a couple fold joints, and you'll understand when we actually do some gluing. Let's bring in our handy parchment paper. Yes, great for hot glue, but also it's great for a coloring mat. Check that out. Let's go ahead and bring our melamine, and we're going to go ahead and color. Where's our jeans color? There we are. Our jeans. No rhyme or reason, everybody. We're going to go ahead and color this the jeans color and some texture onto it, and it's going to fade. The more we glue it, the more we move it, the more we do it, this will fade off of the paper. But at least we can have our faded jeans, because in the movie, Ken Yoshi is wearing denim jeans, okay? That's the reason why we chose the denim jeans color on this action figure, everybody. I think I had like 7 cups of coffee, everybody. Yeah, it's close to 7 cups of coffee today. Okay, so there we go. This is colored. Go ahead and move this out of the way. Move this little whoozadiggy out of the way to our legs and arm jar. Boom. Let's go ahead and paste this on. Okay, but first we need to do a few things. Bring back our parchment paper. And we're going to go ahead and actually do some hot glue paper macheing right in the middle. Check this out. We're using our nozzle of our hot glue gun, our Freddy Krueger. Look how gross this is, and look how much I don't care. But anyway, we're painting the middle of this whole inside. Go ahead and flop this on over. Boom. And we're going to go ahead and wisp it and pet it just like a little denim creature, okay? We turn this into paper leather, everybody. That's what we wanted. And there's a reason why we just did the middle, not the sides, okay? For the top part of the quads, right here, this little blocky part, you're going to want to pay attention. Cut yourself off a piece of rag. If you don't have it already, find a thin, loose piece of rag, maybe from a sock or a t-shirt or wherever. Cut yourself off a piece of 2 by 1.5 inches. 1.5 is right here, and then 2 is long ways. Go ahead and take our parchment paper back onto the scene. This is going to be real simple, real quick, real fun. This top part here, we're going to want to go pretty quick. We're going to put some glue right on this top part here, about 1.5 inches of clearance with glue, right? And really quickly put our piece right flush on top. Press it down, and while it's drying, put it on the parchment paper. You'll want to fold and mold your cloth into the actual design itself. What I mean by fold and mold, as you can see, I'm just pushing and crinkling and making sure that when that glue is dry in the top part, it's not going to dry so stiff. It's going to dry pretty loose, okay? That's the reason why we put all these crinkles and we fold and we use our fingers and really get in there, because we're really attaching this cloth and digging that cloth really into this paper leather material, and we're also making it kind of loose. So that's kind of important. It's going to look like this on the outside, and we're also making an under support where this is going to be glued onto the wire joint, adding that extra like 10 times the support. It's never going to tear. The reason why we want to do this, okay? Flip this over. The cool thing about these designs is we can just follow the design, cut the excess off on all sides. We can even cut kind of underneath the design like this. And if you want to, as an added bonus, you can actually put some glue on top of the bottom part here. Push this down on top of the parchment paper and fold, mold, and let it roll. Don't you just love parchment paper because it does not stick to it? Now we've got an extra added support. This is going to make sense, I promise you, when we actually add it to the quad. We're going to have a lot of bending down in the wire joint area right here. You should have two pieces that look like that. Let's keep moving. We're going to do something a little bit special here. See where this V is right here? This little V right there. We're going to actually place a little bit of glue, a dollop of glue right on top of that V. And we're going to actually smash this V down right onto itself just like this. And we're going to take our parchment paper to assist with the drying process, right? The most important part is this. See how this is 1/4 inch pinched in, and we put some glue right here. And we've got these two little wings. That's very important. This part right here needs to be pretty rock solid. Man, my fingers are gross. But that's what we want to do. We're going to go ahead and add this quad cover on here. Okay? This is going to be the top part of the quad. To reiterate, when you see all the straws pointing to you, facing the camera, this is the top part of the quad. This is the back hamstrings, or the butt, and again, the crotch here. It's going to basically rest just like this. Let's go ahead and turn this over. These two little forks right here need to go even with this edge line right here, pulling these lip wings back so that we can actually see that to go even. Once we know it's even, pull these lip wings up like this, and that's how we want to glue it on. Now we're just kind of dry fitting that. So now we pull this back here, and we are going to actually add a dollop of glue here, dollop of glue here, and right here in the middle, just on this part right there. Move this on back here, kind of make adjustments as we go, making sure that this rises onto here. Put our trusty screwdriver in there, so in case the inner straw bone melts, it won't fully melt. It'll melt around the shaft of this screwdriver. We want the inside right there to be kind of intact, so I know that's cooled down, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the shaft out, everybody. It's a family show. Now we're going to concentrate on these little tabs right here. Put some glue right on this tab here and right on the inner side of this fork here. And all we're going to do is, you guessed it, we're going to tab this down just like this. Tab it down to Chinatown. Remember that drink Tab in the 80s? Google it. YouTube it. I actually like that drink. It's called Tab. Anyway, we're going to concentrate on this side. These little lip tabs. Bring that back. Put some glue on this tab here. Glue on the little fork here. And go ahead and press that down. You can bring back your parchment paper in here. I didn't do it with parchment paper because I'm used to the heat. But bring back your parchment paper if you need to and just push that down and let that dry. Flip this on over, and we're going to deal with this whole lip tab right here. Some glue right on this whole entire inner part of this tab. We're not going to put more on the outer part, like right here, just because it's going to well out. That was about a half trigger pump glue. Now let's tighten this down like this. Batten down the hatches, everybody. And then this little triangle piece right here, we're going to put a tiny pin drop of glue right here. We're going to go ahead and force it down over and fold it like this, right? And then push that down, right? That's feeling good. Do the same thing on this side here. We're going to move this back. We're going to put a lot of glue on the inside. You can put a little bit of glue right on that tip right there. Just the tip, everybody. We're going to pull it and fold it down, okay? We can bring back our parchment paper if we want, like that. And we're going to push on these two sides. And this, we're going to fold down like that. We're going to flap down like that. Pushing on these two sides so that we can actually add some roundness. Alright, and that's looking pretty good, everybody. Now we can go ahead and concentrate on this top part. We're going to flip this on over, roll this back, put glue just on the outer foam parts and a little bit on the inner part of the straw muscle, but mainly on the foam parts. Remember this plastic? That's the reason why we don't need to put glue on here, because we made some plastic leather. Go ahead and roll this back over, and all this is going to rest on the muscle parts of the quad. We're going to roll this down, go ahead and force the well out. See how it's welling out right here, right down here? Bringing back our parchment paper and gently rolling it onto the foam and pushing it down, folding and molding it. Alright? This side should have taken care of itself. If not, add a little bit of glue right on this end part, this edge part right here. Go ahead and roll this on over and get that attached. Pushing and folding and molding with two of our fingers, just like this. In, because we're taking away the sharp edges. That's all we're doing. Adding a little bit more curvature to it, like this. If we want, we can roll this back up here, and we can add a little bit more glue right inside here. That was a half trigger pump of glue, just to kind of give it a little bit more support on the top side. And see how I'm pushing in? We're letting some glue kind of bubble up inside here, adding a little bit more curve and dimension on the top side of this quad. And we're also adding a little bit more glue support on the inside. Now, go ahead, bend this as far back to the butt, right? As much as possible. What you can do, actually chop off a little bit more on the back here so we can bend it more. And go ahead and round this out so it has more articulation back here, so we can do a ballerina split, or whatever you want this action figure to do. It's your action figure. Let's keep moving. We've reached a crossroads. Not really. Remember this rectangular top flap that we made, that we put the support cloth on it? Now keep in mind, this is the front part, this is the crotch, and this is the butt. So we're gonna go ahead and tweak this leg all the way back, almost like he's doing the splits. Whatever gets you through the day, but this flap is pretty important. We're gonna be hiding this wire joint in here. Dry fit it right now and push it down on in there to make sure that it's just covering everything inside this hip wire joint crevice right here. Real simple. All we're gonna do, go ahead and put some glue right on top and around this wire joint and on the cloth right in here. Using our nozzle to spread it on like peanut butter. As it's split all the way back, slam it right down inside the crevice near the crotch and inside the actual hip canyon here, the hip crevice. Go ahead and rock it back and forth now. And the reason why we want to rock it back and forth is the glue is going to well out on all sides and it's going to attach itself, and we're giving it a little bit more oomph to the actual joint here, so that when it actually adheres to the underside of the cloth and the joint, it's going to allow us to have a lot of mobility and move our leg all different directions, okay? Because we really want that hip joint to have a lot of articulation. Let's go ahead and flip this over and take care of the insides right here. Just put a little bit of glue, spread it on the insides, and really lock this in to the upper part of the tab. See what's happening here? Go ahead and bring our parchment paper down into the seam if we want. If we have some spill out or some well out, I like to call it, we also don't want it to be too flat and thin up here, but we do want it bubbled out. Inspect it as we go. Rock solid, and the cloth really adds support to it. Keeps it from tearing. We are looking pretty good. I'm going to do this one off camera, but all you want to do is rinse and repeat the same thing for this leg, okay? The quad cover is the same. The design is basically for left and right, right and left. It doesn't matter. But it should look like this, okay, everybody? That's looking really good. Let's keep moving and grooving. This guy needs some hamstring covers. Now this looks funky monkey right here. Check it out. Your back hamstring should look like this in your templates. What am I talking about? This part right here, the back hamstring, this is going to have a little extra on top. Moving forward in the video, it's not going to have this extra rectangle square piece. Look a little bit more pointed. Just keep in mind that moving forward, concept's going to be the same when you actually cut it and you glue it, and we will get back to this section here. I'm going to go ahead and show you this traced out. We're going to do 2 for the price of 1. This is 4.5 by 3.5 inch piece right here. Fold it in half and fold it in half again. Go ahead and trace this out. Take our Uniball Signo, put the CF, which is centerfold, right on the centerfold line. Tracing it out like this. Boom. Check how easy that is. Don't worry about these markings here. I made a mistake. Cut along the lines on the tracing that we just made. And don't forget this part right down here. And check it out. 2 for the price of 1. This is the back hamstring. We're going to go ahead and color it. This is what it should look like. Probably one of the more simpler parts of this build. Bring back our parchment paper. We're going to do a little bit of hot glue paper macheing. We're going to actually talk about this part right here. This little forked tongue, if you will. Sorry about my blue fingers. All this is coming off. This tongue comes down like that, or adding a little bit of a bend curve, a curvy fold right here, just like this, okay? Can you see a little bit of a curve in there? And it's going to be coming down about 1/4 of an inch. So all we need to do is just bend it down like this and fold it down, fold it close like that. Use our thumbs and fingers to kind of curve it out to the sides like that. We want that because that's going to actually go into our knee pit socket just like this. And that's how it's going to be glued in, because this is going to cover up the back part just like this. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of hot glue paper macheing. Okay, we're just painting it on, making this like paper leather, like always, just painting it on. Let it dry, or we can flip it on over like this and spread it out. And it's already drying against this parchment paper. And that's why we love parchment paper, because it doesn't stick to it, right? So we are going to add a little bit more here to this back. Making sure that we still have this curvy bend right here, because that's what we want before we actually attach it. Right at this, right there, just a pin drop of glue right there. Can we see that? Put a thumb right in there, and we're going to cause that to solidify onto that little nook and cranny right there, because that's what we want. We want it to look like that. That should hook onto the back part of the knee pit, just like this. Nice and perfect. We're just kind of dry fitting it right now. What we want to do now, add an internal seam. And what I mean by that, trusty needle nose pliers. And I'm going to take about 1/8 of an inch, crimp a little bit of a seam in here, because what I want to do with that seam is I want to fold it back over like this and make what it looks like a seam on a pair of jeans, okay? That's all I did. I put a little bit of a seam in there. I'm going to do this side and take our needle nose pliers. Booyah, tribe. All I'm doing is taking the edge and I'm bending it over. And I can rub on the top of the needle nose and just rub it back and forth. Make that wish, just like you're rubbing on a genie's lantern. Anyway, that's what we want. We want that little bit of a fold here. We don't want it just to be like cut looking paper, because that's just going to add to the effect of these being jeans. Go ahead and fit this on here. Dry fit this. Yeah, that looks good. We can add just a little bit of glue right on the jean seams. That looks really good. Do the other side here. If this is too much work for you, you don't have to do this. I like putting a seam into the jeans, okay? Remember, this top part of the back side of the hamstrings, this rectangular piece, cut off a rag piece that's 2 inches by 1.5 inches. And by the way, I already had this cloth. I bought it from Home Depot a long time ago. But if you don't have this, you'll want to grab like a loose sock or an old t-shirt. It just has to be really, really thin but strong material. It should have been in the introduction before you started this tutorial. One of the supplies that you needed, but grab yourself some rag. Bring our parchment paper back onto the scene really quickly. Add some glue right to the top here. It's going to be about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. See how much glue I'm putting on here? Very quickly put the rag on it. Super fast. You want to pick it up and fold and mold inside our fingers right here. The reason why we're just kind of scraping, folding, and molding is we really want that glue to grab on to the inside of the cloth here, because that's going to add the added support when we add it to the hip wire joint. Doing this, we're going to have be strong but also dry loose. That's why we do that. Chop this excess, and the cool thing about these designs is cut right along the design and cut all this excess cloth off. Even though it's not going to be seen, we just don't want too much rag there. It's too much rag time, alright? Too much rags to riches. Okay, stop with the jokes. Let's keep moving. Go ahead and commit to being done. Let's go ahead and put 2 small pin drop trigger pumps of glue right here inside these little gaps here. Put it on, pick a leg, any leg, it doesn't matter which leg you start with. This is pretty much either one. It's ambidextrous, I guess. Do we want to use that word? And let's go ahead and bring this all back here. Let's check this out. We're going to put some glue right here, all the way up on this back part of the hamstrings here. And just go ahead and bring this right up the middle, straight up Malcolm in the middle right here. Let's go ahead and commit to this side here. like that. Let's take our parchment paper and roll this on over like a doobie, like a joint, like the Doobie Brothers. Okay, and all we're doing is just using our parchment paper to lock in these seams. Okay, lock in these seams just like that. All right, check it out. And we are going to just bring this back and commit to this seam right here. It's a mean seam, but yeah, we're just doing this. Check it out. Roll this over like a doobie. Family show, everybody. But you still can commit to it. We're going to bring this leg forward and concentrate on this little bad boy back here. Remember this cloth piece on the top part of the back part of the hamstring. Real quick, we're bending it forward, kind of dry fitting it in here, making sure that it actually fits right nice into this hip socket right here. Go ahead and add some glue right here on the top part of the back side of the hip socket, inner part of the cloth, all over. I'm putting it all over this cloth and bending it forward, really tweaking it forward. We're going to go ahead and thumb this down into the back side of the hip joint, right? And we're going to use our fingers to really push into that and really rock it back and forth. We're going to really articulate it, making sure that we have enough clearance and enough slack on this back side so that we have articulation. Really let this guy shine with this leg joint. See how it's kind of folding and molding to the inner joint? That's kind of what we want. Flipping it over, we're going to concentrate on these two sides here. We're going to add some little bit of glue on each side. Check it out. Parchment paper back onto the seam, wrapping it up inside like this, pushing on it in case some well out kind of comes out. But we're kind of paying attention to the articulation of the leg here. Pulling away the cobwebs. We've got bend it side to side forward. We just want to make sure that we got a lot of articulation and mobility because this is an action figure and we're going to be putting this action figure into action poses or whatever pose you decide. So we want a lot of like articulation, just like this. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, let's make some knees for this guy. Let's go ahead and talk about the things that you see here. Let's go ahead and bring some wire joints in here. As you know about the wire joints, this is the inside of the kneecap as an example made from this shape right here. And this is the kneecap cover. Melamine strips. This is melamine. Dry erase cleaning pad. You know, Mr. Clean. This is actually the Chinese version, but it comes in rectangular squares. It's just spongy and like, anyway. Cut these little strips out, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch wide to about 1.5 inches. Without further delay, go ahead and bring back handy pink foam. As you can see, I've been carving out of this guy. Out of your PDF download, you should have this egg-like thing with a rectangular cutout. Take this design, we're going to fold it at the center fold, right on the corner or the edge of this purple foam. As you can see, it's flopping over just like this. Now let's take Purple Rain. Go ahead and mark this out, right? We're going to do actually 2 of them. Let's mark the edge of this. It's going to be hard to do this on camera. And the edge of this like this. We're going to mark up the middle right here. And let's go ahead and make another one right next to it. Marking this up right here. It's kind of hard to teach at this angle. But you get it, folks. So we got 2 eyeballs looking at you. Hey guys, blink, blink. Okay, let's just keep going. Go ahead and put it in the legs and arms jaw, because that is a kneecap. Take our trusty X-acto knife. Again, be very careful. It's very sharp, kids. Don't cut yourself like I've done a couple times. I'm going to go right here, alright? And I'm going to stab cut it. As you can see, it's coming out right here. The other side, that's what we want. And we want to cut inside the purple. As you can see, I'm cutting inside the purple ink at a 45-degree angle. If you're looking at the camera, this is straight up and down, but this is 45 degrees right here. We want kind of like an oval shape, and if we're good to go, it's going to pop out the other side, and we can actually bring it up like that. Of course, this is a little bit difficult at this angle because I've got this long piece. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to do the same thing at a 45-degree angle, just at a weird camera angle, but it's going to look like this, and it's going to melon cut right out. Look at that, John Cougar melon cut. Do the same thing with this one here. Melon cut these eyeballs out here. There we go. Now we've got our little melon cuts. We've got this little rectangular cutout right there. That's the reason why I put these rectangles here. Lay one flat portion right onto the table. We're going to stab cut it. For the example of this video, I'm going to go ahead and cut right on down, straight like this, so that you can actually see me doing this. I cut straight right through each side of here, and I stopped right where this ended here. Put this flat on the table, go right at an angle so I can carve out this middle piece like that. That's what we want to do. And for this example, I'm going to lay this right on the table. I adjusted the camera a little bit. I'm going to stab cut right at an angle, just like this. And stab cut this side. And I'm going to stab cut right on the top, kind of at an angle. See, at this angle? And I'm going to go ahead and melon cut that out. If there's any residual on this side, just go ahead and just kind of clean it up. But the main focus is to get these middle parts melon cutted out. And we're going to actually cut off one side of the melon slice right here. This little line where it melon cut it out, cut right along this imaginary line right there. Bink! And that's all we're doing. We're just shortening down this kneecap a little bit, okay? It should look like this little Pac-Man, a little melon cut. We're going to take our wire joints. These are going to be our knee joints right here. And of course we know how to make this. This is our wire joint. And what we're going to do is take our wire joint and our melamine, place this right on top of one of the ends of the melamine, start to coil this melamine into itself. Can we see this? Right when it touches about 1/4 of an inch, place a tiny tack of glue right here. It's probably like a half trigger pump of glue. We're going to roll it into itself and then just stop right there. We're putting it on the melamine. We don't want any glue on the wire joint because we have a little bit free flowing on the inside. And that's going to dry for about 7 seconds. As I was talking, that was probably 7 seconds. We want it a little bit loose and spongy. We don't want it connected with the wire joint. The other reason why is so that it'll spare the wire joint. We have solid places on the wire joint where it can actually cause a sharp bend. The wire joints can snap a lot easier. So we want these wire joints a little bit more free flowing on the inside. This is where we're going to get a lot of the articulation. Now we're going to put half trigger pump of glue right into this little space right here. The open part of the melamine, just slam it right down into that open space. Half trigger pump of glue right in that open space, the end part, and we're going to slam it right down on top of that. Smash real hard. Pinch this close and let that dry, just like that. And while I let that dry for about 30 seconds to a minute, go ahead and rest that down. Do this one here, put this right on the edge of the melamine, let that melamine snag inside of itself. Put another thumbtack of glue right here, roll it into itself. Gonna have a little well out, that's okay, and cut the excess off here. Do the same thing with this guy. Half trigger pump of glue right here. And right on the end, we're going to put that right down in there. Push that closed. A little bit of well out. Wisp that away. Place these little doodads right here. See what's happening here? Look at that spider web. Grabs onto your product. Spideys it away. The one disadvantage about hot glue is it dries fast, which I like. And that's the reason why I like it. But it just makes these spider webs. Let's talk about this half X looking piece. Let's go ahead and take grocery bag paper stocks. If there's any graphics, they go on the inside, not the outside, because obviously the outside is we're interested in. Let me just make 2 of these, okay? What I mean by 2 of these, 2 kneecap covers, okay? 1 and 2. I'm gonna cut this in half. All right, and this is about 1 3/4, 1 3/4 and 3 inches, okay? If you just wanted to know that. Fold it right in half on the long side. Remember again, the graphics go on the inside. Take this and CCF, of course, we know what that means, centerfold. That means this goes right on the centerfold because we are going to kill a bird with 3 stones, okay? 2 for the price of 1. This time I'm taking my number 2 pencil instead of our standard uniball Signo. Tracing this bad boy out. Like that, right? Let's go ahead and cut this out real quick here, everybody. Let's cut this out. And all you Marvel junkies, you're going to really like this. What we got? X-Men. Alright, we've got an X. Alright, let's do another one. I like these straight lines. We're getting Dick Tracy all about it. Let's go ahead and color these things. Our jeans color, right? That's basically this. And we got our jeans, our faithful jeans coloring pencil. Let's go ahead and just color this up. Color me bad, everybody. In living color. Cult of personality. We got colored X's. We have our 2 kneecaps, and it should look like this. This is the front side of the kneecap, and this is going to be the knee pit, if you will. So the white is the melamine. Of course, we have the purple foam. The reason why I didn't put any glue on the actual wire joint itself, and I have an actual glue example. You can see the glue actually on the wire joint here. We don't want hot glue on the wire joint because it actually solidifies around the joint, and it causes this harsh edge that it can nag on. When we do a lot of bending and articulation with the wire joint, it can actually cause a break point right at the solid part of the harsh edge, and it causes an easier break point. So that's the reason why we don't want to put glue directly onto the thermostat wire. So when it actually goes into the kneecap cover, it'll be spongy, but we'll have more articulation to be able to bend the wire joints without the hot glue impeding, making a solid area so we can preserve our wire joints as long as possible. A little bit of an explanation there for you. Go ahead and attach these kneecap covers onto this. Go ahead and just smash it in. Loosen up this foam, not be so rigid. It's going to form onto this kneecap cover a lot better. First of all, we want to bend and fold these kneecap covers so it's not so rigid. Parchment paper back on the screen here. Right around in this middle area, we're going to hot glue paper mache right in the middle part of this X. And flip this on over, rub it on the parchment paper. We're turning this into paper leather. We're turning it into paper leather. Same thing with this. Again, graphic side facing the camera. Paper leather. See that film? Take our kneecap. This is the kneecap facing the camera. This is the back of the kneecap, or the knee pit if you want to call it. Taking our X. We already made it pliable. Taking the small portion of the X, not the big part of the X. Also the small side that we cut off be going to the smaller portion of the X. The other portion that we didn't cut off is going to go to the larger portion of the X. So cut off means smaller portion, not cut off means larger portion, okay? And we're putting it right on top of the kneecap, and in this little V gap right here, it's going to go right on the bottom, right onto the actual wire joint like this. And we're going to go ahead and pinch this around. We're putting the foam of the knee wire joint right in the middle. Before we do anything, we're going to want to dry fit it. That means putting it on there with no glue so that we can actually fold it down and make natural creases like this. And so I'm working on the smaller part of the X, and I like that, so I'm going to go ahead and put some glue right on here, half trigger pump of glue, and I'm going to start this right here, just like this. And I'm folding and molding, and I'm pushing that X part right down into the foam here. Do the same thing with this side. The most important part of this is that you dry fit it before you actually add the glue, because you want to add those natural creases and folds into it before we actually commit to it. Bonding that X onto there. You might have a little bit of well out like that. But that's what it should look like, okay? And this top part of the X is going to do the same thing, except we have a little bit more access here, access Hollywood. As you can see, when we actually put this little V divot right onto the wire joint, it's going to actually make some natural folds. Follow these folds around. They're going to meet right in the middle here. After we glue the bottom portion of this kneecap, we're going to follow the same direction as this. So we did this side first, put some glue right onto this top portion of this tab. Go ahead and rest that and wrinkle that on down in there. Go ahead and pull this back up, cause a natural fold to happen, just like this, right? That's what we're doing. Same thing with this. Go ahead and put some glue right on this top corner here. Go ahead and fold this around and let that dry up on that, causing a little bit of a fold wrinkle here. While that's drying, I'm going to put some glue right in here on this bottom part of this tab and pushing that down to Chinatown. And then we've got a little bit of a hang over here, and that's totally fine. We'll just straighten this out here to make it a little bit more straighter on a seam. Finish this on up, putting some glue in here and pushing this down and closing that off. We're going to go back over to the front side of the kneecap, and it should look like, everybody, that's what it should look like. Kind of looks like a blue turkey bone, blue turkey drum, like you just want to eat that thing if you're an alien. We're going to do the exact same thing. This time I'll try to go a lot faster, okay? X on X, it's going to go right down onto the melamine. This side is going to go right over it, like this. Into itself, just like this. Putting some hot glue in here. And we're finishing it off. Glue right in here. And clip this off a little bit here, and we should look like that. We got two kneecaps, everybody. Two turkey drumsticks that we want for our legs.